So, I kind of got hooked down this rabbit hole that now I'm pursuing. Found a new channel on YouTube that shows a lot of like lectures and shit like that. So I've been watching lectures for fun. I never went to college. Now I'm watching college lectures on YouTube. I spend my nights doing it. I don't fucking know why. Just to get my confirmation bias, probably. Whoa, what are you gonna do? So I got into this fucking channel and I came home from work today and I started fucking watching it. And then I was like, alright, I got work. And I pulled the camera, put my shirt on, put my hat on, the whole fucking thing. And I'm sitting here and I'm looking at the camera and I'm like, what do I want to talk about? And I mean, I sat here, I looked at the camera, it was a minute and a fucking half. I sat here going, what the fuck did I want to talk about? And then I remembered what I wanted to talk about, the Postmaster General hearing today. I wanted to talk about that. And I was like, fuck, I haven't even watched any of it. So I watched some of that. I watched 40 minutes, 25 seconds. Rob Portman, the senator from the great state of Ohio, he's asking questions and shit. So I listened to the opening statements, you know, all that shit, and then I heard the first two guys' question, and I'm listening to the first guy question. It's not the two heads of the parties. As far as I'm concerned, that was enough. I'm gonna probably watch the rest of it just because it is pretty fucking entertaining to watch this shit, because it's people see things, right? They look out at the horizon and they see how very flat it is. And they begin to ask questions that are good questions. And then they turn to YouTube to answer those questions. And what they find is not answers, but more questions. But those questions are answers to them. This is where it all goes off the rails. So they get hooked into an idea that something is some way because they see something happen that it's the first time in forever they even fucking noticed it. Right? Like, this is a fun game. You ever notice how, like, whenever you're you don't really think all that often about, you know, I think we should get a new bed. Like, what, every couple of years? Maybe 5, 6 years? Who knows how long some people keep their... I keep my beds for forever, man. That's probably part of my problem. But, you know what I mean? Like, beds are expensive. Fuck off. I know the comments. Oh, get a new bed. Fuck you. It's expensive. Right? You think to yourself, get a new bed. And then all of a sudden you're like, holy shit. Did you ever notice how all of the commercials on the radio are about fucking selling beds? And every fucking store you pass on the freeway is a bed fucking warehouse? Did you ever notice that shit? Or like you're thinking about getting a new F-150. And then all of a sudden, every commercial on TV is an F-150 commercial. And every truck you pass on the fucking... it's an F-150. Crazy how that happens. So, the pandemic hits. Right? And people start thinking, shit, it's election year. We gotta stand 6 feet apart, man. Sometimes the election thing is a pain in the ass to do. Ugh. It's going to be big, long, stupid lines 6 feet apart from each other. Oh my God, this is going to be ridiculous. I'm going to get sick and die. Right? I'll mail my shit in this year. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to request one of those mail-in things. I'm going to do that shits. And then everybody starts thinking about the mail. And then everybody on the news starts talking about the fucking mail. Right? So now you're thinking about the mail. And you notice one day that truck has a bunch of mailboxes in it. Are they taking mailboxes away? And you start going, what the fuck? And that horizon looks really flat. But you don't think about the fact that that's the first time you've seen a mailbox in probably a good 10 years is on the back of that truck that one day. But because you're thinking about the mail, all of a sudden you're thinking about the mail. Oh my God, this package is late. My package is late. Why is the mail running late? You didn't ever fucking notice that it was late before. Because most likely, you didn't fucking know when the fuck it was going to be there anyways. It's snail mail. Snail mail comes when it comes, man. Like, I know when my bills are going to be there. My bills pretty much arrive on time every month. But sometimes, it's a day or two later than it normally is. I still have ample time to pay it. It's not weeks fucking late. And even if it is, it's not like I don't pay all my bills on phone anyways. I know when they're all due. They're all due on the same day every month. So, you know, and my heart bleeds for the people who get medication through the mail, and if that shit is late, that fucking sucks. It does. That fucking sucks. But it got me thinking about it. Is there a way to kind of fucker around with your schedule to make sure that you have some grace? You know, is it even possible to go to your doctor and be like, can you request that my daughter's epilepsy medication gets sent out 2 or 3 days earlier than it normally would to get here, just in case something goes on with the mail and it's late? We are in a pandemic after all. You know, I imagine that they would do that kind of shit. I don't know. I always look, I'm one of those victim blamers. I always look for personal responsibility and say, is there a way you could have made sure that that shit didn't happen? And if the answer is no, fair enough. I'm not really blaming the victim. I'm asking a question. Is there a way to give yourself grace? Because they might be like, no. The doctor says we can only ship it out at this point because you cannot have excess, because who knows what you'll do with it. And I would go, fair enough. All right. So, can't do that. Let's think of another solution. That's kind of how I am, but I'm always called a victim blamer. Whatever. I'm the bad guy. Am I the bad guy? I'm the fucking bad guy. So, right? It sucks when that sort of shit happens. And something happens. But, you know, like, if I got my medication in the mail. God, I probably showed my fucking address or some dumb shit. Next. If I get my medication in the mail, right? And I run out, and I go to the mailbox, and it ain't there, I would call my doctor and be like, I'm out of meds, and the mail's running late. Can I, like, come into the office and get a couple pills or something? Like, or can you write me a script that so I could just drive down to the CVS or whatever and get a couple of pills? Like, can you, is there anything we can do here? And I imagine that they're probably not going to be like, nah, fuck you, suffer. Could you die? Can you suck it up for a couple of days and just fucking wait on the mail to be on time? Like, no, I think they'd probably be like, yeah, come on down, we'll get you a script. Fuck it while you're here, we'll check you out, see how you're doing. And, give you a script, you get, we'll give you fucking, if it's Vicodin or some shit like that, we'll get you a couple of days worth of pills, and if it's not back in a couple of days, you can see us for a psych evaluation then. And if it's something like, whatever, my little fucking happy pills, if the mail's still late, call me back. Fuck it. But my medicine isn't even all that important. And you know what? I fucking drag my ass down to the CVS or whatever the fuck it is. Every month. I get 1 month's worth of pills. And every month, I go down to the fucking thing. And I go, I need a gift pill. And they go, okay. And then they go, are you going to wait? And I go, I'll pick it up on my way home from work tomorrow. Because I still have today's pill. And tomorrow's pill. Right? And then, like, the next day, after work, I go in and I go, can I get my pills? And they go, here you go. And I get my pills. I always have them. Like, I don't know. And they're not even really all that important to me. Like, they're 5 milligram happy pills. Like, that ain't fucking much. So, the doctor even told me, which at the time I said, well, this is stupid for you to tell me that. He said it would kind of be more of a placebo than anything else. Because it would actually do something, but the effect would be so minuscule that the psychological effect would far outweigh it. Because we're talking about dopamine in my fucking brain and shit like that. I'm going to be getting a little bit more than I normally would. So because I'm going to be getting a new chemical high, I'll be convincing myself, oh my god, the pills are working great, and then I won't want to miss them. Like, that's the effect of it. And that's my pills, but I still make sure I got them. Because I know what it's like when I don't take them for a long time because of COVID. And I don't want to fuck around with going to the pharmacy because they got more important shit to do. And I found out what it was like to not be on it for like a week. to go from taking a pill every day, like I'm supposed to taking a pill once a week, like I was not supposed to. And all of a sudden I got really fucking antsy and amped up and moody as all hell and was snapping at people at work and like unreasonably snapping at people, because I've snapped at people at work reasonably, but unreasonably snapped at people at work. And like I was like, yeah, I gotta go get pills. And I fucking went and got my prescription and I got back on my pills. No, I'm fine. Like I don't know. My heart bleeds for people when bad things happen. But when bad things happen, I go, was it ever a thought in your mind that this bad thing might have happened? And what did you do to safeguard against that? Because like I always say, the 2 bits of advice I always give you guys. Protect yourselves. Don't be stupid. Right? Protect yourselves. There is one person in your life that is with you all the time. And that's me, baby. No, that's you. You are the only person that is 24/7 with you. You are the one best suited and best positioned to control your actions for the betterment of yourself. There is nobody else in this world that you can look to give you better protection than you. You're it. If you throw your destiny to the fates, who knows what could happen? But if you do everything you can to protect yourself, at the very least, you've done everything you could to protect yourself. So if you're concerned about your mail-in ballot, I would suggest you request it with ample time for it to get to you, for you to fill it the fuck out and work up the desire to want to go put it in a fucking mailbox. Or to take it to the literal post office itself, and against the taboo of the time, actually speak to another human being and say, I would like you to make sure this gets where it is addressed. And that guy will go, thanks, next. Because it ain't that fucking momentous of an occasion. People do it every day. Like, it's the mail, man. Like, it's, you know, once upon a time, we would put letters, handwritten, in envelopes, handmade, and sealed. And we would give them to a dusty man in a leather coat. And he would put it in a dusty leather satchel. And then he would get on a dusty leather horse and run that motherfucker as hard and fast as he could across the fucking plains to get you, hopefully within a month, that letter. And yet still, these motherfuckers could pull off an election. We live it is the current day. This video will transcend time. It is the current day. And we are worried about letters getting through the mail. In today's hearing, I learned a lot today. Because who the fuck cares about the post office? I listened for 40 minutes straight to the Postmaster General being interviewed by fucking senators and being accused of being an evil fucking man trying to rig an election. And he said, when asked about the removal of mailboxes and the closing of post offices, he said, I didn't even know that was going on. Apparently that's been something that's been going on for decades. It's been standard practice for decades. It's just not something I thought question, because nobody brought it to me as a concern until all of a sudden the news thought it was a concern, because people were thinking about the mail and somebody noticed that mail trucks were being taken away for the first time in their life, even though they've probably seen it 100 times. If they've even seen a mailbox in the past 10 years. God damn it! And I'm like, oh, this is so stupid. Because this is literally like a flat earther questioning an astronaut in the space station with Earth behind him as the backdrop. You know that the mail processes like 400 billion. Fuck you, I don't know the number. Yeah, I'm terrible with numbers. They process a shit ton of mail. Enough that when they say we're going to be dealing with about another 150 million, it's like not even a percentage. It's like 2%. What they do every day, motherfucker. Like, And he said, as soon as I saw that it was a problem on the news, I stopped doing it. We're not removing mailboxes anymore, not until after the election, and we're not closing any more post offices or fucking around with anything. We're not doing any of that shit until after the election. We'll get back to work after the election. Everything stops until the election. And he's like, the guy's like, are any of those mail sorters that you've taken out, are any of them going to be put back into circulation and used? And he goes, they're not needed. Because we need less mail sorters because we're getting less mail. And we need more package sorters because we're getting more packages. So the mail sorters that were working at 37% efficiency because we had so little mail to run through them are being taken out, and then that loss of 37% is going to go into all the other machines that are running at 37%, and it's going to push them up to 55%. And then we're going to put in more package sorters because they're running at 120%. And then this new package sorter that we replaced the shitty fucking mail sorters with that we don't need, that is going to equalize out things with packages to where we'll be running at a good 100% everywhere. And he's like, so you're not going to put them back? And he's like, they're not needed. I'm just like, dude, you're killing me. It's like, God damn it. They're not needed. It's the mail. What comes in your mail? If you're like me, all your bills. Because fuck it, I want the hard copy record. I don't even know why. Because I'm irresponsible. I don't check my email. That's what they want from me. Right? So, I get my bills, and I get shit that I throw away. That's all I get in the mail. Most of the time, actually, when I get things through like Amazon and whatnot, like when I got all of the Marvel movies for Christmas, when I got that shit for Christmas, I got most of them USPS. And here's why. I like using USPS more than I like FedEx or UPS because they're better. And here's why. FedEx and UPS use conveyor belts. The shit comes out of the fucking truck or from the store, whatever, just tossed onto a conveyor belt. The conveyor belts crunch and fuck up and you just fuck the mail up. They just fuck your packages up. You ever got a FedEx box and been like, were you chewing on this on the way to bring it up to me? Like, what the fuck is this? Like, you ever gotten one of those? I work in shipping or receiving. We get them all the time. Dude, one time I had to climb into the UPS truck to help the UPS driver put all of the fucking shit back in the box that had ripped open because somebody had just half-assed taped it together and then thrown it on this poor schmuck's fucking truck. And I had to help him pick all the shit up and put it back into the box so that we could together, as gently as possible, lift the fucking thing up onto the dock so that I could then tear open the box and just put all the shit in a new box because this box was so fucked up. And that's the service you get from UPS. But at USPS, everything is hand and bin only. They don't really do a lot of conveyor belt shit. They put all the shit into bins that go into bigger bins on wheels, and then they wheel that shit by hand to a thing, and then they put it through a machine that just sorts the shit. And it's a nice gentle machine that's been working for decades doing the same fucking job, and every time you get the mail, it looks roughly this nice, right? Like, this is for a bill. This is the envelope I got inside the envelope with my bill wrapped around it. Look how perfect that is. It doesn't get better than that. Do you see the corner? You ever see how they fucking rate baseball cards? Do you see how perfect This is a mint. This is a mint envelope that came inside of another envelope in the mail. This is a piece of mail I got too. You see how fucked up it is? Yeah, because I wanted to open it to see what was in it. Do you see these corners? That is mint condition. This went through a sorter. This went through a machine that a person took by hand and lovingly, obviously loving, because it's mint corners, lovingly slipped it into this machine that processed it so beautifully as to be perfect when it came to my fucking mailbox. And then it was wrapped by hand and put in bundles inside of a mail truck that was then taken by hand lovingly and put into a fucking mail bag. That's how all my mail comes, man. And I live in an apartment with one of those shitty boxes. Now, I'm not saying there aren't shitty mail people out there, but it's been a long time since I got a mangled letter. It happens. It's been a long time since I've got a mangled letter. And I get all of the mail that I expect to get. So I love the USPS. I love using it. And I love going to the post office. Now, again, there are shitty people in the world. I happen to have this one dude that works at the post office who's fucking amazing. And the other guy that works at the post office is even fucking cooler. The one dude comes up, "What do you need, boss?" And you say, I need to send this package to this address. Because I used to do prizes and shit, and I would send people packages. And these packages were, you know, decent size. I used to send artwork to people. Decent size shit. And I would say, I need to send this package, this address. And he'd go, "I need you to fill out this so that I can put it on it." And I'd be like, "Well, all right." And I'd be like, "I need you to give me a pen." And he'd give me a pen, and I'd fill the thing out. And I'd give the thing back to him, the pen back to him, and he'd slap the thing on it, and then he'd weigh it, put it on the thing and weigh it, and go, "Unfortunately, you owe me $12. And I'd be like, "Do you take plastic?" And he'd be like, "In that machine." The machine does. I don't. You know, like, and it was fun to fuck with. Like, he was entertaining. And then the other guy was, not that it really matters all that much, but he was a black dude. And he was just, "What do you need?" Like, he was just loud and all about it. Like, he was jazzed to be helping you. Those were the guys at my post office. So I love taking mail to the post office. I live in small town America. What do you want from me? That's my experience with the post office. The mail always comes in mint condition. And the post office guys are cool. I don't know. They've been working there for years. They're still there. Every time I go, they're fucking right there. So, yeah. They're always very helpful, and I love the post office. Post office is great. I prefer it to private companies. God, I prefer a government business. Well, I'll say this. I also learned today that the post office is responsible for turning a profit. It's responsible essentially for paying for itself. I realize that. I thought that the money that you paid on stamps and postage and shit like that essentially was like a breakdown of. I guess I am. You are buying a service. I'd never even really considered it in that way because it's a government thing. The post office is actually a business. They actually have to take care of themselves. They actually have to fucking be somewhat self-sufficient. Like, they get, you know, a budget or whatever, but like, they have to turn a profit. They sell a service. God, the one thing in the government that actually is like a government thing that is privatized essentially. Like it's still a government, but nevertheless, it's a it has to run like a private company. It has to turn a profit. Holy shit. No wonder it's the only government service I really fucking love. Capitalism. Fucking crazy.